You know, and I know, and they know, and we go all in. And I know, they know, cause we go all in.
Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. It's your boy K Dizzle DC to the man on my other side right here. Tell him who you are, my guy.
Man, it's your boy Half Streams, man. It's another Sunday night. Welcome.
Michael
Welcome
is in the
to
building
the All Dressed
early.
Up
Look
Podcast.
to All Dressed Up Podcast, episode 85. Why dating feels like trapping.
Hold on, this
Uh,
is 85. This
This
is
is
Ocho Cinco.
85.
Wow.
85 was a good year. I was in the building. What up, man? Look, I'm excited about tonight because this is funny. And the funny part is, I think we're not even really paying attention to how hilarious this is. Okay, neither one of us is on this scene. Neither one of us is on the scene, but we're getting insight from everybody who's in the scene. We got a lot of people available tonight. We got a awesome coach that's coming through. Just gonna share his insight too. But before we get to rolling and all that, my guy, we've had a very eventful 2 weeks since our last show. Ralph, what up, man? Hef, how
Huh.
has your weeks been, man?
So let me tell you, man. My baby girl, if you've been watching us since episode one, you guys know I love me some Nova.
Right.
This girl is doing new things each and every day. Bless her little heart. She's 18 months now. She's saying colors, she's saying numbers, she's talking up a storm. So I'm happy to share that. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll definitely see that. But let me talk about something that occurred over the weekend that I've been looking forward to for the past 6 months. And I did not expect what I experienced to happen.
All
And if
right.
and if you're under a rock, what am I talking about,
I'm
KD?
gonna put the ticker up. I'm gonna just put it up. I'm gonna put the
Oh
ticker
my
up
goodness.
right
And then you have to go, man, look at the question chat.
now.
Errol Spence got jumped on Saturday night. Didn't get jumped because I'm gonna tell you, I did something that I never thought I'd be able to do. I
What's that?
pulled my chips off the table right about 4 hours before the fight. I don't know what happened. What's up, Sal?
Nah, what up?
I got tapped on my shoulder. Somebody told me, like, son, don't lose your money betting against Terrence Crawford tonight. And boy, was I right when I took my money off the table because it was a drubbing. It was a good old fashioned ass kicking,
A drubbing?
a drubbing.
A
And I'm
drubbing.
gonna tell you, I did not expect it. Did you? I
No,
mean, he could have won, but I didn't expect him to win in that fashion.
no, nobody expected. Everybody had an acumen in saying that Crawford was the better boxer. Everybody knew Crawford was a better boxer. They knew Spence was a brawler. They just didn't know that he would get outclassed as bad
No,
as he did. Shout out to Buck Crawford,
no.
killing it, doing his thing.
What's up,
Shotty,
Bob
what's up,
Chachi?
man?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's scary times for Spence because it comes to the point to where can that one loss be really it? Like he had a great career. Both of them were undefeated coming in. Terrence Crawford's unified now, so the sky's the limit for him.
Hmm.
Spence does have the rematch in the clause.
Hmm.
Do you want to see the rematch? Because
He don't want that rematch yet.
I think he has to turn into a whole nother person
He don't want the rematch yet. He's not.
before there
He's
even
not
be a
ready for a rematch.
competition.
No, don't get that man. Don't get in the ring with that guy
No,
again
no.
because it was terrible. You need to fight like 3 more fights before you go see him again. Get your
Oh my
acumen up.
god.
Don't do that. Don't do
And
that
then
to your
everybody that I talked trash to going into the fight, I was like, oh, you didn't miss a fight, you missed the ass whooping show. A
That's what you
fight
did, man.
consists of two people, two pugilists that are competing against one another.
You got
After the
big
first,
words tonight. Yeah.
I'm well rested. The fight was so bad, it put me to sleep early. I'm gonna tell you, I could only imagine how Errol Spence felt this morning when he woke up after receiving that type of abuse. And I'm not taking any shot at Errol Spence as a fighter. He's a phenomenal fighter.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the superiority of a Terrence Crawford and what he was able to do. I'm just giving him all the credit, man. So, you know, just wanted to say that was my weekend, man. Really surprised me. What says you, man? What you been getting into?
I
You
haven't
have
been getting
you
into
have
much.
fun, man.
It has been a whole lot going on. I will talk about one thing that did strike me, and this is just recent. And I have to bring this up. And I just told you, let me take that off because Errol Spence did get jumped. Um, look, I have to talk about this, okay? Because I think Dave Chappelle, he's like the Simpsons, man. He saw this before everybody else did, right?
Uh-oh.
Okay, look at the ticker. Okay, are
You,
y'all
you,
washing y'all feet
you went
out
there.
here?
You went there.
And the reason why I have to ask this question, okay, if you have been under a rock or no, there's a show called the Today Show on NBC, where some pretty prominent people are on it, and they talk about certain things all the time. Then there came up a conversation. They said it was an online conversation, Reddit or whatever the case may be, and about whether or not people are washing their feet. Right now,
Whether or not.
whether or not. Hey, what's up,
What's
Melinda?
up, Aunt Lindy? Love you, Aunt Lindy. What
People,
you mean whether
this
or not?
this was an actual this was an actual question that people were asking other people if they were washing their feet or not. Now, look, we've
Oh
all
my
seen the
goodness.
memes and we've heard the stories of I've heard at least, and I've met some. Black people only putting lotion on that you on the body parts you can see. Erica, what's up? You heard of black people only putting lotion on the body parts you can see. This
Yeah,
one
but
is
I've
where
never
people
heard of
say,
nobody leaving body parts outside the shower. You
"I'm
got to
just
take your
telling you."
feet with you in the shower, right?
Hey, so let me play the clip. I don't care. I don't care if they mute this part because this is important that you need to see this. Are
Hold
y'all
on,
washing your feet out there? If you just walking in, hey Nene,
what's up,
let me
baby?
pull this on the screen, okay? So we get this out the way. Do you wash your feet in the shower? Hoda and Jenna weigh in, right? Hopefully you can hear this, right? This was a real conversation they had, right? Let me play this clip.
Down there, get down there and wash them.
Oh no.
This is an ongoing debate.
No.
We still don't even have our votes in for this one because people are still
Okay,
voting. But
here's
what
the
do you
thing.
guys
So
think?
bending over to wash your feet?
Yes.
Okay, I just feel like everything's rolling on down that way anyway.
I mean,
What? What? Everything's rolling on down there anyway. What's her name?
Her name is Hoda. I'm not pulling it back up.
All
That's
right,
Hoda.
man.
I'm not pulling it back
I
up.
don't know. I don't know, Shanae. I don't know what
I'm
people
not
shit
pulling
that
it back
is
up,
because she said everything is rolling on down
bro.
there anyway. I'm not rolling down there.
I'm trying to tell you, man.
Me personally, I'm not rolling anywhere near her feet.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, my guy. This was a real question. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this out.
What?
What in the Stone Age is going on?
What's up,
Look,
Eric?
look, look. This is the truth. I said Dave Chappelle said it at the beginning, right? Dave Chappelle said it when his skit. He said white people don't use the cloth.
That's how
They
she
put the
rolls.
soap up the butthole to do all the stuff. They don't use the cloth. People are out here really not washing their feet.
She's literally letting the problems roll down her back. She's letting all of her day roll down her feet, and she just basically gave it away. She's not scrubbing. She's not scrubbing them toes, man. So shout out to her feet in the situation after she takes a shower because that's a rough one, man. Now I
Shout
can
out to her
honestly
loved ones.
say, Erica, I give you credit that you attempt to wash your feet and you almost fall because it can be challenging, but you have to be smart when you wash your feet. There's certain things around you that you can use for your protection, but definitely don't leave your feet out of your shower
All
routine.
right, put your hand on the shower wall. Do your thing. Figure it out. Get a rhythm going. Y'all too old not to be knowing how to do this. Okay. If people treat their shoes better than their feet, yeah, my guy. I don't know. Make sure. Look, just don't be these folks out here, bro.
To bring the
Bring the feet to you.
you.
100% exactly. Bring the feet to you.
What's good, Jermaine? How you been, big
Look.
bro? Look, how do you say on national TV that you let everything just roll to your feet?
I don't know. I don't know.
Why'd you bring that up and disturb me?
I'm bringing it up because there are people out here that are literally not washing their feet. She just said it on national television. Okay. I just kind of let everything roll. So everything you scrubbed up here, just rolling down there and just rolling on top of what you're not gonna clean.
She got well-traveled dirt that went to her feet. She's got well-traveled
She got
body dirt.
experienced dirt down there that can tell stories.
I wonder if she picks her feet up and lets them run under the shower before she leaves.
No, I don't.
And then if she takes her towel and just all right, look.
All right, let it go. Let it go. Let that stop.
We're gonna have some fun tonight. If you're coming into the chat, we're gonna have some fun. In about a good 10 to 20 minutes, we're gonna talk about something that K Dizzle and I have really no clue about. All right, Erica, that's just nasty. But we're gonna have Coach Nick Love on in a few minutes. We're gonna talk about dating. So K Dizzle.
All right, because we
Before
we had a we had before we got on this show, we had a rousing. I'm using big words like you tonight. Rousing
Jeez,
conversation. Okay,
Green Bay
uh,
Packer feet.
a rousing conversation about this. The date do's and don'ts of dating in 23. Why is it so hard? Okay, now go ahead, bro. Because
All
I'm
right,
I'm gonna
so
let
look,
you lead on this.
let me go ahead and get it going. So we're gonna talk about dating tonight. We're gonna talk about single stuff, things that K Dizzle and I haven't been a part of for a long time, but we've had history, we've dated. And the good thing about Shanae and myself that I can speak on personally, we go on. That's the thing, Shotty, stick with me. I didn't know that people still dating. That's what we're talking about. But let's be real here. There are single people, so let's show them some love. We're gonna
Yep.
open up the floor tonight. Now, Shanae and I, we go on what's called married people dates.
Hmm.
So we still date. Like we still like to surprise each other, pick a nice location, make some plans, put out some effort, dress up nice, a nice little picture
Right.
session, and we go out and have a great time. And when we take these dates together, ah, when we take these dates, this is the opportunity that we have to actually see other young new couples that are just
Hmm.
arriving to the dating scene in 2023. So, like Shanae says, don't stop dating your spouse just because y'all together.
Very true.
So look, so when I see these people out, I was thinking of K Dizzle, the dating scene doesn't seem to me to be the same like it was when I was out there when I was at a younger age. So we're gonna ask y'all what y'all think. I said to K Dizzle, everybody wants convenience, right?
Yeah.
We're finally getting to a point to where time is almost more valuable than money. Finally, even though we've always pretended to be so. But everybody, we haven't had a surprise date in a long time. We'll talk about that shit. So Arizona says when he goes on dates, he only sees girls out with their friends. But see, where you go in Arizona, we're gonna talk about that because you might be going to a place where these people can't afford these first dates. That's coming up. So here's the thing. I said people don't want to go out and invest time and money with another person that they're not going to see a future with.
No, wait. You said you originally said people don't want to waste time taking people out to dinner.
Correct. So
Right?
a lot of people are going to come through tonight that I know personally that tell me all the time that all these women, quote unquote, want you to do is feed them. Now, I'm not gonna. What's up? Enough said. I'm not gonna take shots at my ladies out there because there's nothing wrong with dinner. Because I come from the traditional dating, setup.
Hmm.
But a lot of people aren't going the dinner route. I don't want to commit to a time. Prime time, dinner time is going to be anytime between 5 and 9 p.m. So that's
Okay.
the prime time of my day. I got to plan for that time. I got to most likely go through traffic to get to that date because that's prime time. And I got to spend more money because we're going out to more so than likely a nice restaurant. And then when I go through all this commitment, talk about it with my friends all day. Like, I'm going out later. We're gonna have it, da da da. I'm gearing myself up for all this excitement. And then I get to the restaurant and the date goes nowhere near our plan.
Of course.
So then I'm looking like, all right, I got a bill coming. I didn't have 3 Casamigo margaritas at this point because I'm trying to have a good time.
Right.
Now I got a $150 bill down DC somewhere with a
Okay.
person that I'm never gonna call again.
Now, what did I say about that whole situation, right?
What?
What did I say about the whole situation? If two things you got to ask yourself, right? If you're going to go out on a date, you told me that a dinner date was too much of a commitment, that you rather go on a coffee date
Coffee date
than
for
a
me.
dinner date.
So I'm with the millennials, Kate Dizzle. I've been
Okay.
researching. So apparently, and Coach Nick Love can tell me if I'm wrong. Apparently,
Look at you.
I got a fact.
You leading for confirmation early.
Hey,
Go
that's
ahead.
what we do. Hey. So the number one apparent first date location in America, according to I gotta check my sources, but Starbucks. Why is it Starbucks? They say
Okay.
because there's a lack of commitment. A coffee date, almost like an impromptu speed date. Because I don't want to commit to having to spend $100, $150, pay for all the gas, time, and effort, the clothes. Like I can easily say, to a nice young lady who's a professional like myself. Look at Erica. She's already on board. I'm telling you, I'm up to something.
Okay.
I can easily meet you in my work attire. You're coming from work. I'm coming from work. We could take a lunch break.
Okay.
We both have the opportunity to get some energy from a nice, refreshing beverage. Everybody loves coffee when you know you're a professional. Mostly, you can get some tea, but it's a great opportunity to meet a person at a good point in their day, to where you can have a nice conversation. You can see a person's character by what they're ordering, how they order,
Okay. So here we
and
go. Right.
how they act when they wait for their order.
So when you at Starbucks, ladies, if you at Starbucks and y'all sit there and y'all order, and you get to the register, and the man is like, "Can I get a passion fruit yum in the sun venti with an extra shot of what, honeydew, and put some strawberries, please?" How you gonna feel about that?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Hey, that can be something that can be brought up in
Look,
conversation.
bypass all the unnecessary. Now I said
Wise
that could be.
choice, says Lisa Leonard.
Yeah, says Lisa Leonard. So bypassing all the unnecessary. So what was the second thing you said? You asked me about dinner versus Starbucks, right? What was the second thing? Look, here go Ron in his metrosexuality. It's actually good, K Dizzle. It's actually good. It's pretty
Hey,
darn
man, there's
good.
nothing wrong with that.
Look,
Nothing wrong
I'm
with
just I'm using the drink as an example, the fruitiest drink I can find. But
Well, what else you say?
you said no, because you asked me this question. You said,
What?
well, what if the woman says,
Oh
well, I
yeah.
want to be taken out on a date. I want to go to dinner.
So that's a point where you can look into your judgment and make a call, because it might not just be the woman. If a guy looks and says, like, I don't just want to go to Starbucks, like I really like her. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I might take that opportunity as a chance to get another moment to go further. You know what I'm saying? If I'm thinking straight. But a person might see it as like, nah, you're not gonna just Starbucks me. You're not gonna just take me to Starbucks and just get a screener of me and try to make judgment of me in 30 minutes and make a decision about me over coffee. Like, a woman might not be willing to expose herself, or even
Mhm.
men. Let me not be misogynistic. I might not want to be vulnerable over a cup of coffee. I might want to see more effort and more commitment. So I threw that out
Yeah.
there to you. A person might not want to accept that. I might see that coming and say, you know what? No. In order for me to give you my time, you got to take me out to eat.
And exactly what Lisa just said. This is a choice, and now you got to consider and weigh your options. This is where you decide how much of a pursuit you want to put in, and then you decide what that pursuit is going to be from there, right? Whether you're
100%.
committed to finding out who that person is, or you committed to something totally different, what your intentions are at that moment, right? Now, see, this is what Ron says. That's why the conversation leading up to the date is key.
Super.
Key.
What's up,
Mama
my
have us in
dudes?
the
Hey, K
building.
Dizzle, man, put the number up,
I'm
because
gonna put.
the chat
See,
the
there we
chat
go.
is coming together tonight, and we're gonna have some guests. And like I said, Coach Nick Love is gonna be joining us in the next probably 5 or 10 minutes to talk
Mhm.
about the don'ts of dating. Marcus Rose, hey lefty.
So it's look when it really all boils down to it, when we're talking about going on a first date or going somewhere, the whole point and purpose of it is to find out what the intentions are, right? Trying to figure it out. One of the things you said is the convenience part of it. I can understand that. You pulled in a whole bunch of stats, on these places on where they prefer to go, and it does make sense. It does make a lot of sense.
Hold on. Time out, K Dizzle. Arizona, what the hell is a horny Hail Mary? My man said they be throwing horny Hail Marys out here.
Uh-huh.
You gotta, yeah, it's like you said, it's the conversation leading up to it. So talk about, before we get going and get everybody in.
Hmm.
Hey, Dizzle, what are some of your dues that you were talking about off the air?
The dues that we have off the air, when do's and don'ts in dating, right? And this can be first dates or multiple dates, right? The first do, okay, is ask questions to find out interest and who they are. No surface questions, right? If you're only asking surface questions, then you are telling on yourself that you may or may not know how to carry a conversation, right? You may or may not know how
So
to
what's the
carry
surface question for those who don't know? K Dizzle.
uh, a surface
Break it down.
question.
Break it down for the dating amateurs out here.
Uh, what do you like to do for fun? That might be a surface question. Or how was your day today? Or what is what are some of the things? Or let's see. Um,
What's your favorite color?
what's your favorite color? Yeah,
There
well,
you
that can
go.
be. You can lead. If you're a good person to
You
ask
can take
questions,
that
that'd be a
far.
way. What's up, Amazoni? Love you, love you. Sal says I met my woman in the background first.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I have no idea what that means. Hold on, hold on. Another dude before I put you on E is listen with intent. Please listen with intent and be genuinely interested. If you're not, say so. Right? Say so. Say so.
But does it, Marcus Rose? That's what we're trying to figure out. Is dating so complicated? Because I'm telling you, I think the new daters got it figured out because one, they're new. All the new young people don't have time for the bullshit.
Right.
Two, the people who are coming out of divorces, think about it. There's some new daters coming back into the scene. Some of these divorcees, they
Mhm.
don't have time for it. So I don't think it's going to be as difficult if you can if you can find the right person to go to a Starbucks coffee date with, because I think there's so much to be accomplished in that 20 to 30-minute screen session.
Mhm.
And like I said, we'll find it out. So what's another dude?
And the last one, do before I put Erica on is be upfront with your intentions.
Okay,
Be upfront with your intention. It
that's pretty
really
deep.
isn't easy, but people make it so complex. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Is your feet clean? Hold
Is
on,
your
hold on.
feet clean?
Erica, what is going on?
Good, Erica.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
We can
Very
hear
well.
you perfectly. What's going on?
Hey y'all.
What's up? What's up? Talk to us.
So basically, I like what y'all saying. I was going to say I dated a guy one time and we talked on the phone for like 2 hours the first time we talked. And
Hmm.
then before we did like your traditional date, we met up at Tucker Road Park.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
we were out there for like 3 hours just and it forced you to communicate and really see like if we connect, and then from there then he asked me out on a proper date, then we went out for lunch and all of that. But I feel like to a degree, um I don't know, this is a little off topic, but I feel like when it comes to like the amount, because I know Hef was saying like spending all this money, I feel like to a degree the man kind of sets that, because if you know you only got $50, just take her take her on an ice cream date. Like women like
Taco Bell,
creativity.
But
And so
nowadays, Erica, with
Wendy's.
the young crowd believes in that equal opportunity, everybody for their self independence. So are the men paying the first date bill like they used to?
I
They
think
should.
they should, but it's some cheap people out here, and you only know your pockets. And I feel like if you dating, you gotta pay to play. If you want to date multiple people, but you know your pockets can't afford multiple people, then you need to figure out what am I out here doing there.
100%. Now you had the advantage of like, and you kind of described your one of your first dates like me and my baby. We talked on the phone a lot
Mhm.
before we
Yeah,
actually went on a first date. So, do you think it would be the same for you if you didn't have that opportunity to talk on the phone as much? And let's just say you have a quicker opportunity for a date. Is that going to put you behind the eight ball at a success rate because you didn't have as much communication?
I mean, okay, you mean like if we went on a date before we got to talk like on the phone and
Right,
stuff like that?
right.
I mean, I would be cool with it, but the type of person that I am, I'm an extrovert. So like I'm gonna ask questions. But I
Mhm.
kind of gauge like what you be talking about. Like if you saying weird stuff, and that's gonna kind of let me know, all right, this might not go nowhere. Or if you throwing out like little comments like, oh, big money, nah, that ain't going nowhere neither. So it just depends on I don't know. But I
That's
did
facts.
want to add one little thing, like
Go
with the
ahead.
do's and the don'ts. I don't like somebody who's on their phone a lot. Like you should be focused on who you getting to know. Like pay attention. Just see where they at.
I'm with you.
That shows a level of disinterest. So if you're on your phone and you're on a date, you are not there and you are not paying attention. You're not genuinely interested. And
Mm,
I agree with you 110%. You got to be in the moment. And unfortunately, a lot of people live through their
why
phones
y'all
and not
looking
in
at
the
my
moment.
forehead?
And look, you just come on and
We
put your
love you, Eric.
forehead
We
on there.
appreciate you. And you already starting a wave of what you don't do. And that's what Coach Nick loves about to do and come on and say. telling us what to not do on these dates. And
Yeah.
Bianca already said too, Erica and Kate Dizzle, feed her or she don't have no convo for you.
She don't have no convo. Hey,
And that's
Erica.
and that's how a lot of
I ain't
people
mad at
feel.
her.
Hey,
I
Erica,
ain't
I love
mad at
yeah.
Bianca.
I love you, sis. I'm gonna bring you back on later. Pop off real quick
Okay.
because I gotta
Thank
bring
you,
in the
Erica.
coach. We're gonna
Peace.
talk about the don't. We're gonna talk about some of the don'ts, but more importantly, we're gonna bring in our good friend Coach Nick Love, who we invited to come on tonight, um, to really hone in on the mistakes that we make in the dating sphere out here. And let me pull myself up to the side and give my man the front screen. Coach
There
Nick
you go.
Love, what's
Welcome
up,
to the
baby?
show, Coach Nick Love.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We doing good, my man. We
Excellent.
doing good, and we appreciate you stopping in and coming in. Have you run the show from here, man?
Nah, man. First off, thank you very much for joining the All Dressed Up podcast. We got Coach Nick Love in the building, dating coach, expert. Gonna drop some tips and break down some of the don'ts that you do because I've been out the game for a while. I go on my married dates, Coach Nick. You know what I mean? So what are some of the things that you recognize that you just like to open up with about dating and some of the things that you recommend not to do?
Well, first I want to say thank you guys for sharing your platform with me and having me on as a guest. I appreciate you guys. And for your audience who don't know who I am, I'm Coach Nick Love. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I help my clients create a strategic dating plan so they can be successful at dating and date well. And tonight I want to talk about some of the mistakes that people make when it comes to dating. But I heard you guys talking before you brought me on, and so I'm going to also talk about 5 questions that I think you can ask on the first date. And some of the questions might seem surface level, but they not so much surface level. So,
Okay.
All right, Roland,
so
get your pen and pad rolling.
yeah, so, so the biggest mistake I think that people make when it comes to dating is I think that people don't make dating a priority. So think of anything big in life you want to accomplish. If it's a career change, losing weight, people make it a priority. They set a goal, they put their time, energy, and resources into it, and then they be successful. But when it comes to dating, people don't do that. So I think that's the mistake that people make when it comes to dating. I think that to actually sit down, make a strategic dating plan so they can be successful at dating and date well. And you get different results. Look at what are you doing and look at the results that you're getting from it. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then maybe you need to change the things that you're doing. So
Yeah. So let me ask you a really quick question because Donita in the chat said there's a difference between courting and dating. Can you give a little insight on that and what she might mean by that?
So I look at them both as the same, actually. So sometimes like, are you both local, like in the Maryland, Baltimore area?
Yeah. For
So
sure.
like some people might say, "Oh, I was talking to this person, or I was dating this person, or I was getting to know that person." I look at it all as dating, right? But it's all about what type of dating are you used to, or what type of dating are you willing to accept. So some people might call it courting. I call it all dating because I think it's all you taking your time out your day getting to know someone. So for
Okay.
me, a big difference from the talking stage, the dating stage, or courting. It's all about the type of dater you are. So I don't really separate the two. I look at everything also as dating.
Okay. Well, give us another mistake that you think people make when we're going either courting or dating.
I think another mistake when it comes to dating is that people don't ask for what they want. So instead they accept what is available and they settle for less. And
Ooh.
they'll just be happy with. Well, they won't be happy with that, but they'll end up being resentful or bitter because they
Ooh.
just accepted something that they really didn't really want, but they was like, hey, this is available, so I'm gonna accept it. And it's like going on dates. Netflix and chilling. That's the thing. I don't
Mhm.
consider Netflix and chilling a real date. So I advise my clients you shouldn't be Netflix and chilling too early on. You should actually be going out on.
Well,
You know.
Netflix and chilling is just trying to become friends with benefits because the Netflix and chilling ain't Netflix and chilling. Like we understand what it means when we ask to do so. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? When we ask to do so.
But one of the,
Hey, when you come over, let's put on a movie. I don't know what you think, but you got to understand what the euphemism is, what it is out
K,
there.
Nick's already, not to cut him off, but Nick's already surprising me about the first point because he's mentioning making time and really thinking about your dating. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
reflecting on what you're doing, where you're going. So how do you feel before you continue, Nick, about how I was raving about the coffee date thing?
Okay, so when it comes to a coffee date, I'm not a fan of the coffee date. I think
Okay.
you go out on a date. I'm about the first date being more so like a dinner date. I think you want to create a romantic setting, and that is time for you guys to like ask each other questions and see if you want to go on a second date. You should be able to get some information out, and you should have some questions. It should be again creating a strategic dating plan. So know what you're going to talk about before you even get to your date. Know
Okay.
the you want to ask these the person that you're sitting across from. But I don't think a coffee date is romantic. I think that you can't like put reservations in. You have to seat yourself. And first dates sometimes can cause anxiety. And if you're going on a coffee date, you can't have the option of maybe having a drink to knock off some of the anxiety. Not that you should have multiple drinks, but some people might need that one drink to calm their nerves, and that's not an option at a coffee date.
I totally
Right.
feel you, man. You hitting it on the head. And with me, I'm actually the dinner guy. Like I was always one to eat. I love to eat because I think with eating comes conversation. So I'm with you, Bianca. I don't want no damn coffee either. And I do want a level of commitment with my date. I don't want to sit here and sound all bougie, but at least give me, even from the woman's perspective, come meet me at a nice location, put on something nice that we plan for, and let's see if we can get on time. So I know when I went on my first date with my baby, we met at Dave and Buster's because I was lucky enough to know that she enjoyed competition, she enjoyed sports, and it was right down my alley. So it was perfect. So even if I got nervous, I can say, "Oh, did you see that play?" In the game or something like that. So what else you got, man? What else do you think people aren't really getting in today's dating game?
But yeah, and also I wanted to agree with you when you talked about a coffee date. So I feel like a coffee date is you got 10 to 15 minutes to impress me. Go, like impress me.
It's a
Right,
pitch.
exactly.
It's a pitch.
You got 10 to 15 minutes. So yeah, I feel like that would add extra anxiety
Extra
on
stress.
people. And yeah, I just don't really. Again, I don't think it's a romantic setting. There's nothing romantic about a coffee date.
That's a business proposition. Hey,
Yeah,
regardless of what you
like
got, what I got, we see if we work out from there. So
right. Yeah. But I wanted to touch on like the 5 questions I recommend my clients to ask on the first date. Because I heard you guys talking about like some certain questions or surface level. So I think the first question you should ask on a coffee date is, "How was your day?" And I think you ask that question because how someone answer that question can tell you a lot about a person.
Very
So
interesting.
if this is the first date, the first date, very much like an interview, you're gonna put your best foot forward. And
Mhm.
if someone answer this question and they answer it, oh, my day was, and they answer it in like a negative way, and that's all they can
Right.
talk about, then that's letting you know that this is probably a negative person.
Mm.
So if you end up dating this person or in a relationship with them, they showing you who they are, a negative person, if that's all they can talk about on the first date. So I think that's a good question to ask on the first date.
Wow.
It could be just it could be in a negative space at that moment. Now, and the what I believe too is you can ask that question. It could be a surface question, but if you're going to ask a question, you need to listen to the answer, right? Because a lot of people, you
Yeah.
need to listen to the answer.
But
Because if
would you show up on a job interview and talk about how horrible your job that you're currently at is?
Always a red flag. And whenever it's funny you say that because whenever I interview someone, because I'm in that position, if I ever sense a person just focusing on the negative, it turns me off.
Mhm.
And that's very true. And even like now, not to get off topic, but like my girl tells me every day, don't come home with that negativity about your long day. So good point.
Yeah, and it's like, can you self-regulate? Can you calm yourself down and walk into a different environment and be able to let that go for now,
Yeah.
for the moment? So
o-
I think it's a good question to ask.
Okay.
Another question is, what do you do for a living? So if you don't already know that, and you want to ask this question because if it's something that they enjoy, then you want to become curious about it, curious about their job. When people are talking about things they like, they are loosening up themselves. So loosen them up. Be curious about the job. If they like it, if it's something that they saying like they not really happy with, you want to know if they got a plan. So you want to become curious. Oh, do you have a plan? Are you working on like an exit plan? Because if they not, that's like, that's a complacent person. And if you end up in a relationship with them, then they'll probably come home daily and talk about how they hate their job.
Mm.
And the third question is, what are your interests and hobbies? I think that's a good question because this will get you brownie points if you plan a future date around their interests and hobbies. This will let them
Mm.
know that you were actually listening to them when you ask them about their interests and hobbies. So I think that's a good question too. I know you guys brought that up earlier too.
Mhm.
Yeah, and another one is like, how long have you been single? So if someone's been single for a long time, you need to become curious because this person might be emotionally unavailable or just bad at relationships. Why were you single for so many years? So I think that's a good question to ask. You know,
That is a good question to
ask
ask. And
questions that you know if you're being strategic with your questions.
But see, Danita asked an interesting question. She says, "Are these blind dates?" I think these questions need to be asked before the in-person date. And I agree with you, Danita, but not everybody has the opportunity to ask all these questions. I think in an ideal setting, you have, ask a lot of those questions before you have just that first date. But, if you don't have that opportunity and you do have that first date, what questions are too impersonal? Like how soon, and we were talking about this, K Dizzle,
yeah.
and hopefully more people can come in and join the conversation now and ask Nick some questions. But how early or how too soon would it be to talk about your ex?
Um, comes up is okay, but you shouldn't be bringing up your ex, and the way you talk about your ex will let you know a lot about a person. How someone talk about their ex, if they talking about their ex like, hey, it didn't work, I learned this from the relationship, that might be an okay sign that this person is over it because they taking some accountability. Like a lot of times people see the red flags in the beginning, you know. One of my favorite sayings is that people don't betray us. We betray ourselves when we ignore the red flags in the beginning. I believe the signs are always there. So if someone can be like, I saw the red flags, I didn't pay attention, I know better now, but you know, I'm over that relationship. How they people talk about their ex will let you know how they feel about their relationship. If they talking about their ex in a negative way and they putting all the fault on the ex, then that's a red flag.
100%.
But
I
I,
agree.
and I live and die by the motto of if you let somebody talk long enough, you will always find out what their real intentions
Yeah.
are.
People
So
let you know who they are if you
yeah,
listen. But for
100%.
the question about like are these blind dates? No, a lot of people nowadays meet online, or some people will meet in person at a party,
Hmm.
and they might not want to ask people what you do for a living because they seem pretentious. I don't know. So I'm in the Maryland area. So
Hmm.
in DC, this is a big thing. People don't like to ask that question anymore because people felt that people were being pretentious when they asked, "What do you do for a living?"
Right.
Question is not always asked when you first meet people in person anymore because people feel like they judging you based off of what you do. So some people don't ask that question. And again, let's if you don't already know the answer. But even
That's
if you know
excellent.
the answer, you want to become curious on the date if they enjoy what they do. And if they do, you want to become curious about it, get more
Yeah.
information.
So enough said divorce and back in the game. Do the same
Absolutely.
rules apply? Absolutely. And let me say this too. If you want to join, do me a favor. Don't call me. Text me at that number 301-857-1757.
We give you guys the
I will
instructions,
send
and
you
I
the
got
link and I will, I'll bring you on if you got some. Erica says, don't dwell on it and then be negative. Keep it cute or keep it on mute. Ron says, girls bring up their baby daddy in the first 5 minutes. Like, damn, can we get the appetizer first?
and Mike Leonard said one date at Applebee's got that 2 for 25, and we can learn about each other all we want. It's all love, brother. Do people still do the 2 for 25 at Applebee's? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Depending on what Applebee's we talk about. We in the DMV. It's some you go to, some you don't go to. You feel me?
Some people,
Why bring up an ex? Good question.
Dangerous.
Why bring up an ex? Is it a good idea to do on the first date?
I wouldn't say bring up an ex on the first date is a good idea. No, you shouldn't bring up an ex on the first date.
But a lot of them do. A lot
So
of them do.
before we shift gears and get some more people to come through and ask their questions, Nick, what's another don't? If you
Um,
haven't finished your questions, I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Okay, yeah. So the last question I would recommend is ask the person that you're on a date with, where do they see themselves in 5 years? Because this can let you know a lot about a person too.
Yes.
Um, so it's not a good idea to ask people like, do you want kids? If you want marriage on the first date, but asking this question, if they don't mention that they want kids or marriage, when you ask this question on a later date, if you make it to a later date, you can follow up and say, hey, I noticed when I asked you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You didn't mention kids or marriage. Is that something that you see in your future? If that's something that you want. So it's just about being strategic how to ask your question and then like sometimes following up with it on a later date.
Got you.
Yeah. And don't ask that in the first 5 minutes. Jesus.
no.
Don't ask that in the first 5 minutes. Have some composure before you get there. Don't come at me how your day was. Where you see yourself in 5 years from now. I'm gonna look at you stupid. I'm gonna look at you
Yeah.
straight stupid. Get out of here before we
It's,
even
it
get.
sounds
Before
like
we
it
get
sounds like to me a lot of the good questions that you're recommending should have been asked then and now. You know, it sounds
exactly.
relative.
Not only talk about the ex-wives on date, but show me a picture of them. Like what the
Wow.
right? It says people think being transparent is being real. That's why they bring exes up. Um,
Interesting.
Yeah.
it's a difference between being real and sharing too much at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely don't overshare in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Don't be too aggressive on the first date coming on too strong,
Yeah.
Apps before exes. No.
Sal says apps before X's. Isn't that crazy? So in today's world, right? I was thinking the coffee date was the way to go. Nick, you shut me down. You told me that's not the way to go. It's not showing the effort. What about the I guess intro to the date? Like, is everybody that you're talking to, are they primarily finding their partners online, or are they still meeting people in like casual settings? What have you been noticing from your clients?
So the clients that I work with, I recommend my clients to meet people the organic way. So create a lifestyle for yourself where you're going out and you're putting yourself in situations where you can actually meet people that you have things in common with. So if you're someone who loves the museum, if you're someone who loves concerts, put yourself in those places where you can actually meet people that you share common interests with. But also try new things. So I recommend my clients to go out and meet people the organic way. Some of my clients still choose to meet people online, but I'm not a fan of that. I just prefer you to meet people the organic way. I
Meet
think
people.
that
Absolutely.
people in person, you can kind of get a feel of like this type of person they are. You can see what they really look like. And I believe in getting off the couch, getting out the house, and having a life. If
Yeah.
you just sit home all the times on the apps and things like that, is this a lifestyle that you created for yourself that someone actually want to be a part of? So you want a lifestyle where someone want to be a part of it. You don't want to just be, oh, I just sit at home and watch movies all day. Like, who want to be a part of that?
Right.
Right.
It's not tempting. No,
Erica asked an interesting question. She says, "What if you put yourself in those places and still don't meet anybody?"
well, you also have to learn how to work a room. So that's what I help what my clients to do is like work in a room. But like some of the females, you should introduce yourself to the guys. Not saying you should ask them out, but it's called dropping a handkerchief, where you drop the handkerchief and let them pick it up. So you're letting them know you exist. You putting yourself out there, and then you see if they will follow up and ask you out. So learn
Hey.
to work a room.
Throw the link
100%.
out there. Wait, so really quick, I got what we're gonna bring on live. Fancy. Hey, we're gonna bring you welcome to the ADU podcast. Can you hear us? You there, Fancy? Oh, you fancy, huh?
Make sure you allow access to your
You allow access
microphone.
to your camera, your video. Oh, there we go. We got some video action going on. Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear
Yeah,
you okay. Hold on, wait. Let me. Damn
we
it.
live.
Come on through.
We
Come
live.
on
Come
through.
on through.
Can't
Come on
stand when
through,
this shit
Fancy.
happen.
It's all good. We live. That's what we're doing each and every Sunday night.
Look,
First
look,
and
Hold on,
third
wait.
Sunday.
Okay, so that means okay. Wait, give me 1 second.
you got us on the outside camera. Put us on the
Okay.
inside camera,
Wait,
Fancy. Oh, okay. We'll bring
All
you
right.
back
We're
on.
gonna, we
You're
gonna get
right.
the
Look,
technicals
Dania says
together.
no more online BS for me. I prefer meeting people organically and through friends. I need references. Yes, I need references. Like you said, that's a good point of putting yourself
Danita
out
trying to
there.
get all her questions answered before she meets you. That's a perfect world. She trying to get all her fancy. What's up, Ralph? Get the technical difficulties. There we
stupid.
go.
There we go. We see you in the
I got
staircase.
the
Hit that button.
camera. I'm
Double
sorry,
tap that
fellas. Give
camera.
me 1 second. Like,
Go on. All right, I'll bring you back on when I see your face. All right. So so the other thing is I think bringing the X up because they don't know what to say since they've been out of the game with dating and just a rebound thing. Could be a rebound thing. Lisa says, I used to go with the flow. Once I got a feel for the guy, my questions were based on the vibe, and I kept a 100 to take the pressure off, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people can't do that. Ron say, hey, IG be popping with the online dating. I don't know.
Leave it up
The
to
hard
Arizona.
part about social media, and I will say this,
What's real?
that yeah, you don't know if the persona you're seeing is the actual person, or if it's the persona they're putting on, and you just the same thing if you look for a date now. I think when we talked earlier before we got on, you talked about the stats on dating apps, making over $4 billion because it's a big business, and I think that could be detrimental to your health as well, mentally too. Imagine putting your picture up on 6 different apps and you never get a swipe right. Now you're feeling a certain way
But
about yourself internally.
it's
So
funny you said that though, because like Nick said, and also I was researching, a lot of people are starting to lower their standards
mhm.
from what I read. And this is going back to what Enough said was saying, coming out of divorces, especially because all right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a pause here because we got some video and audio from a guest. Welcome to the All Dressed Up
What's
podcast.
up, Fancy?
For one, I want to say hello, welcome, thank you, good evening to all my beautiful, handsome, blessed, God-fearing men of the evening.
I love it. Thank you.
Go on.
Okay, it's like, look, I've been through so much in regards to dealing with men. Um, Give me 1 second. What is this?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Okay. Okay.
Let me
Right,
All right. Give me one
right.
second.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I do want to say is, I have a few different things to say when it comes in regards to dealing with relationships and men. For one, you know, we all in so many relationships. Like people on me. Like I'm so over it. I can't never feel fully feminine, and where I be wanting to feel feminine in. You know what I'm saying? I just be needing niggas to understand that. It's
Mm-hmm.
true.
When you don't walk out of service, Fancy. You
Yeah.
doing where you at? You've been walked out of service, Fancy. Go on back in that staircase.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see if Fancy can get back into some Wi-Fi.
But hey, she brings to the point where you talking about a woman feeling like she's got to play both roles. Let me put the number up, Donnie. You got to play both roles, even when you talk about in the dating scene, which is difficult. You got any insight on what she's talking about, Nick? What she may be feeling?
If she feeling like maybe that she's dating people that is not the right fit for her. If you feeling like uncomfortable in certain situations, you feeling
Mhm.
like this is not how I want to feel when I'm with a man or whoever, then maybe that's not the one for you. You need to continue your search.
Mm-hmm.
And how often is it that it seems like people find the same person at the same place that they date and expect different results? Like I know that's a whole different conversation in itself.
So a lot of people. So what I do with my clients is that when someone come to me, we do a relationship autopsy. So we
Mhm.
look at their past relationships, because if you don't change who you are, then I believe that like to attract like. You're gonna continue to attract the same people
Mm-hmm.
in a different outfit, right? So
Yeah.
you can work on yourself, where when you are showing up, you are different than all the people you attracted before. Like if you're the same person, you're gonna attract the same people that you attracted in the past if you didn't do any self work. That's just like a lot of people are now moving to Atlanta or North Carolina, thinking they're gonna get different results, but they're taking you with you. So
Absolutely.
They
with
take
you,
Absolutely.
it's
they
different.
take they taking their talents to Miami, and all the baggage coming with them. So it's truthfully, what's a true statement is if you're not fully prepped and you're not worked on internally, you just bringing all that stuff into the next situation, and it's not really the outside people's change. You need to do some internal searching and change before you get there.
Yeah,
And a part of the issue is some of the people that she's seeing could be because of, like we talked about before, the circles that we're in, and we're not in the right circles where we need to meet the people that we want to attract. So energy begets energy when we're talking about that. Now I got
100%.
a very vocal and very upfront Donita, aka D Styles in the building. What's going on, D?
Hey,
Hey.
How
What
you
you
guys
Welcome,
got?
doing?
Janita. How you doing, dear?
I'm good. Oh, I'm all close, looking crazy.
Go ahead, sis. What you got
Uh-huh.
to say?
Kermit, K Dizzle is my brother, y'all. He always gets me in this foolishness.
Okay.
But I think I heard the woman that was breaking up a little bit. She said she was having trouble meeting guys. Is that what she said?
I think
Well,
she said something
I
along
think
the
more
lines of
so
like
she's
guys making
saying
her feel like herself.
It and I just want to expound on that. I thought I heard her say something about masculine energy and feminine energy and how difficult it is for women to rest in their feminine energy when you have so many men now that are to me acting more in their feminine energy. I think that the lack of effort is there. I'm 52. So I've been divorced 6 years, and so when I dated, I was in my 20s. Men took all of your girlfriends out to dinner. You know what I mean? They took us out to dinner, they courted us, they came for us. I mean, and maybe it was because their access was different. The levels, you could only date locally. I'm from the Washington D.C. area, and we could, if you didn't know a woman or know someone through someone or go to school with them or college with them, that was your range. But now that men have so much access, right, to me, you can date someone in California, you can date someone in Africa if you want to. You have so much access that to me, the effort isn't there. And I don't care if you're in your 20s, 50s, or 60s, I'm seeing the same thing across the board with lack of effort, lack of intentions. And then I also talked about courting, because to me, courting is the part where you're getting to know someone on a deeper level or you're dating with intentions. To me, that's my opinion. That's when you ask about, I ain't asking no surface mess. I want to know where you come from, what your mama like, what your daddy like, what relationship you got with your grandmama, because I've been married for 20 years, and that's the BS that you bring into the relationship. If you don't know, if you don't, if that person hasn't healed from that trauma.
that your
So,
mama beat you.
I'm asking about everything. And I'm asking for it at a coffee date. I'm
Yeah.
asking it for, I know coach said you shouldn't, but here's my thing. I don't even want to sit across from you for a romantic dinner date, because sometimes these men don't even have no money to be able to date a woman. How about that? Be able to date her and or date on your level. If you're a Red Lobster kind of dude, and I ain't got no problems with Red Lobster or Chick-fil-A, or if you were Mastro's kind of dude, date on your level though.
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
I don't need to be sitting in front of a dude. Wherever he takes me, I can take care of the bill too. You get what I'm saying? So I ain't going out to take pictures. I want to be intentional in front of you, asking questions. So I'm gonna get all that preliminary stuff out before I even sit in front of you, because you ain't wasting my time no more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it all out.
Yeah, so I think that I hear people say that often, like, oh, I don't want to waste my time, so I'm just gonna lay all my cards out on the table, you lay your cards out on the table. I think dating is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? So you want to pace yourself out when you're dating, and I don't believe in going on the first date asking all these intimate questions or personal questions. I think information is earned over time, like trust. So it's fine to go on the first date and let that be easy breezy. And eventually, if y'all continue to date, then you will get to certain questions. But all of these personal questions, I don't feel like people want to be that vulnerable on the first date and talk about how they were raised or if they went through abuse with their mother or father or something like that. That's being really vulnerable, and some people don't want to do that on the first date. You haven't earned
Right.
that information, so I don't think that we should expect that out of people to just give that information on the first date. And again, dating is a marathon, not a sprint. You want to take your time.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me see if let me
but I
see.
think
Hold on, Donnie, because I know you're gonna come and fancy. I'm trying to give Fancy a chance because Fancy in her video having some trouble. I'll bring you back in,
Oh,
Fancy.
you
But I see
fancy,
working
huh?
right.
You fancy,
no, I'm
huh?
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not saying ask that on the first date. I'm saying that the courting part starts before you go on the date. So what I'm saying is that's conversation that we need to have over the telephone through a series of conversations. You know what I'm saying? To lead up to it. Because I think the dating I think it should be easy breezy and fun. But what I'm not gonna do is, if I'm talking to you, that lets me know you can find out where somebody's coming from sometime in the first conversation. You know what I mean? That lets me know, am I interested to even go any further? It ain't no need for me to sit across from you at a
Mm,
table, at a golf club, whatever we gonna do,
mm.
top golf, whatever it is, if I'm not interested in you. And you got to find that out courting through phone conversation first. To me, that's my.
You
That's
gotta have
my,
a hard time
Yeah.
getting a date with Miss Anita.
Hold on, Sinead. Hold on, Sinead. Don't be asking what's your credit score the first day. You tripping?
no. That ain't
There
nobody's
she go.
business.
Hey, my
Fancy.
friend, your ass put your goddamn shoes on. That be the shit I be talking about.
Go ahead, Fancy. Go ahead,
Fancy
Fancy.
Live back on the All Dressed Up
Fancy.
podcast.
Go ahead,
y'all.
Fancy.
I'm sorry. I didn't even know y'all could hear me.
Go ahead.
Tired of being nigga mommy.
Oh,
Swear. For God. I be like, you want me to be God mommy or nigga mommy? It be like, bruh, I'm trying, nigga. I'm trying, bruh. It's like these kids, they be trying me every day. If it ain't the kids, it's the Habibs at the job. Cause you know we don't get nothing but calls from the Indians. Hello, can I please check the status of a claim? No, nigga. You ain't gonna understand the status of the
we
claim.
are live.
You'll
Fancy.
never understand the status of the claim.
Fancy,
You're gonna
keep
never
it on
understand
topic,
the
man.
status of a claim.
Fancy,
I'm
reel it
so
back
tired.
in now. Come on, Fancy. We talking about dating, baby. What we talking about?
I'm tired of niggas not understanding the claim.
All right.
Sweet baby.
The plan.
What's
The member don't have the plan. You don't understand the claim and you don't have the plan. I'm tired of this shit. Nigga mommy. Put your goddamn shoes on. For
They
whoop
don't
your
have
ass.
a plan? You
I
tired of
came
me
to
not
church
having a
today.
plan?
You know what? I be
Go on,
trying, nigga. I be praying, nigga. I try. You know what? And one thing I can say about a woman of God is, nigga, we try. Okay? Just leave me alone. Leave me alone on a lot of different levels.
All right.
Leave me alone on a lot of different reasons. But what's that, Kiki? Kiki, you got the light, Kiki.
All right,
Kiki.
Fancy. I'm gonna let you go. Fancy that came on and said, look, just have a man with a plan.
Hey, man, it's
Have a
Sunday
plan.
night, man.
It
You
is
know,
Sunday
Fancy
night. We
getting
live.
fancy out here. We appreciate you, Coach Nick Love, for coming through and really breaking it down for us because I heard a lot of great things. And like Chanel said, K Dizzle, ask some real shit on a first date. Danita was talking about getting a whole bunch of information. I'm the type of person to where I'm not up for all that exposure. Like I don't feel like I want to expose myself to where you're gonna judge me just to make it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I gotta pass these prerequisites, and I get it. A woman and a man deserve everything that they're looking for in a relationship. But just because a person doesn't check off every single box and answer an interview perfectly doesn't mean they're not the best person for the job.
Well, let me add to that too as well, because when we're talking about dating too, we're talking about different levels of it as well. And people are in different places and different spaces within their lives. And sometimes they'll put emphasis on like dating in your 20s is different from your 30s, which is different from your 40s and different from your 50s. Everybody's got a certain time span and frame that they say, hey, this is how much time I want to spend on to see whether this works or not. Like you said, you have a plan when you're talking about dating. It's one of the first things Coach Nick Love said. And some people say, hey, this is going to be a plan. I want to make sure that you're along the same plane. You're along the same plans as I am. So they're going to ask specific questions with definite intent, definite intent based on how they feel and whether they want to invest the time into it or not. Like you said, people already alone have issues with communication. And if you bring too many hard, tough questions in which make people feel vulnerable, which they're never used to doing prior, they are either going to close up or they're going to open, and you'll only know from when you ask those questions. And I don't think you say it on the first one, but when you do ask them, just make sure you have tact and you have good conversation with that as well. So, and you have a plan moving forward and pushing forward as well. People are nervous to waste their time. People are definitely nervous to waste their time. So, hey, Coach Nick, I'm gonna pull you in, man. I'm gonna give you some of the last words, man. What do you think on the conversation that we had tonight?
I think it was great. I think that so what I do is like again, I help people create a strategic dating plan when it comes to dating, and I'm for the people who are not happy with the results that they're getting when it comes to dating. So if you're not happy with the results, then maybe change some things up and see if you get different results. Some things people might not agree with me on, but if what you're doing is working, then of course stick with that. I want you to stick with whatever's working for you. But if it's not, be open to dating a different way than you dated in the past, and maybe you'll get different results. So it's just all about looking at the results that you're getting. If you're happy with those results, then fine. But if not, maybe just change some things up.
Switch it up a little bit. Switch
Yeah.
it
Do
up.
something
Yeah.
different. You want to get something out of something and get a better or different result, change the game up. And K Dizzle was gracious enough to put your website, Nick, in the chat and also your Instagram link as well. Where can we find you? And if we want more information about maybe signing you up for a coach, what do we need to do?
You can contact me on all social media platforms, Coach Nick Love on Facebook, Instagram. My website is coachnicklove.com. So if you anyone want any assistance when it comes to dating, just hit me up.
All right, man. Appreciate you
Thank
stopping
you
in.
so much, man. Thank you.
All
Love
right.
you, guy. Appreciate it. Dating is a survival of the fittest.
Hey, that's what they say. That's what they say. I really appreciate everybody that came through live tonight. We're gonna still kick it for a few minutes, K Dizzle, because this is a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah,
In
it
one
is a hell of a lot
episode.
to talk about. It's a loaded question. It's a loaded situation. But the most important thing you can do, right? One of the things that we didn't push on, and I'll list the don'ts. I think we talked about it already. Don't bring up your ex and past relationships.
Yeah, run through some don'ts, K Dizzle. I want to
Two.
hear. I want to hear some shit you say don't do.
Number two, I'm having a ball dating. Ron says. Two, no showcasing allowed. Okay.
All right, so look, before you get into no showcasing, right?
Go ahead.
Somebody told me something a long time ago, K Dizzle. They said if you lead with your money, they're always gonna want your money. If you lead with your money, they're always gonna want your money. So what I said was, well, what does that mean, old wise man? He said you got to think if that's what got them attracted to you, that's what they expect.
That's what they expect.
So don't pull out the, and I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead, K Dizzle. Don't do that because of why?
And number three, don't be a hoe. Unless you already a hoe, don't be a hoe. Okay, that's the last don't. And look, I'm gonna pull fancy. Hey, fancy.
This is how I feel about so much of this. You know what I'm saying?
Break it down, fancy.
Like, go ahead, be a hoe. Be what you want to be. Just
damn, we lost it. Every time it gets good. Every time it gets good, we lose fancy, man.
As soon as we get in, just if you go, you could be a hoe. Just be honest about being a hoe.
Ron, call in, Ron. What's up,
Hold
Ron?
on, man. Hold on, Ron. Hold on, man.
What's up, man? Y'all faking, man.
We cannot, dude. Hold on, fast.
hold on.
Fast.
Okay, this is where I'm at with that. If you're going to be a hoe, be a hoe. That's fine. Do what makes you happiest. Okay? Just understand. When you enter into my life, make sure that you're entering into my life as someone that is going to be an accent. Be a phalange. You know what a phalange is? A phalange is like a finger. It's an appendage. You know? Like, just be an addition.
I get it.
Being
she said, "Be a phalange, be an appendage."
I did you the wrong.
Daddy keep on calling for some odd ass reason. I'm sorry, my father keeps calling me. I don't think it's an emergency. It's more likely a need because he needs a bitch to be on his team too, and I'm not one.
Go ahead, phalange.
Daughter-in-law. But let me say this.
Yeah,
this is where I'm coming from. Be a hoe. If that's what makes you feel good, for you to have 2, 3, 4 bitches on your team, go ahead. Just make sure that when you come around me, we eating good. We doing whatever we do together good. You know what I'm saying? And keep it on moving. Just go.
So you okay?
You know, I just like get the fuck on.
Hold on, fancy.
I just think like the older that I get, like I don't like to sit up under niggas all day. You know what I'm saying? It might be one day where I want to sit up under you and Netflix and chicks. Like it just might be that one day that I like you enough to do that with you.
Are you okay with
just be the rest of the days where it's like I gotta work. I'm tired. I work just as much as you. I'm taking care of my kid. You know what I'm saying? I got to deal with her daddy and his issues with his stupid ass. You know what I'm saying? And his mama too, because we got to incorporate the mamas too. Okay? I just be needing niggas to just back up off me for a second. Okay?
So you
because before I got a hard dick in my back and I'm trying to take a nap, I need for you to understand this is what I need from you. Okay? I need to make sure my refrigerator got some milk, cheese, food, something I can make a cake with. You feel me? I can't make no cake with a nigga that ain't got shit. to make a cake with.
All right,
You know
baby.
what I'm saying? I
I
be
love you,
tired of
baby.
niggas like that. I just be tired of. I'm,
Change the circle. Change the circle,
I'm
love. Change the circle. I
See,
love you. We
so what
go. We get
happens?
you all the
So what
time.
happens? So what happens? K Dizzle in Arizona. Welcome to the show, Arizona. What happens is
What's up, y'all?
we get committed into a date, right? And then we show up and fancy going turned up.
Turned up.
I gotta figure that shit out. Where's the button? I need the button. You feel me? So that's why I say I don't like to be always all in because I need to escape left. But go ahead, Arizona.
Oh, I was here. I had just had to come on because I heard,
Hmm.
the complaints against men, or like we not taking women out. Like I be taking women out. You take women out to nice restaurants and stuff, and they want to request all this nice stuff. They don't even be knowing how
Can
to
I say
crack a
something to
lobster.
you? Can I say something to you too, Arizona? I'm glad you came on, bro.
I,
Because you one of the few friends I got, and I love you, bro. We go back a long time.
yep.
You will ask Shanae certain questions that are thought provoking, and I appreciate you because sometimes she goes so hard in this chat, and you
Oh
keep
yeah,
it
because she just hold on, because she just said because that it's a meme going around and she kind of like retyped it and it was like it's like men these days want submissive breadwinners and I'm like, what's wrong with that? If you
right.
if you getting money, what money got to do with submission? At the end of the day, we supposed to be submitting to one another. One of the synonyms of submit is agreement. So all we doing is coming towards an agreement. It ain't got. It's like you got to be super King Kong dick for a woman to submit to you. You can't just be a regular person. We submit to one another. You shouldn't even be talking to nobody you wouldn't submit to.
So,
So
so, so what are you doing? Exactly. I'm glad you explained that. I'm glad you explained that 100%. Hey, look, survival of the fittest, says Lisa. So while I'm out getting money, there she go. Are you sitting on my couch?
nah, just be you might be the breadwinner because you probably
Fixing your
making
stomach.
80,000 and I'm making 70.
Oh,
So
Lisa
that don't
said submit in marriage. Holy cow.
She took it to the next level. She said, "Submit in marriage."
But some men don't want to submit to the woman. He just want her to be dumb and be his slave, but she can't be broke or a bum, etc.,
nah,
etc.
that's cap right there. I don't even know what what they talking about. Like, why are y'all talking? Why are you talking to somebody if you feel like that? Like, how you get all the way to a certain level if you don't respect this person? They a bum. They all of
I
this.
agree.
How you get that far? That's based on upon you. I think, and what the dating coach said is start with yourself.
Hmm.
It'd be like some people, if you out here trying to sell burgers at a vegan convention, what you expect? Like you're not putting your product in the right place.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is, when you go out here, I think we need to have a certain level of ourselves in a good space, right? We
Exactly.
need to we need to be at a certain level. We don't have to have it all together.
Together all
We don't
the
have to have it all together because
it
nobody
starts
does.
with self.
But be at a certain level where you're content with yourself so that you're able to look at another person and be acceptive of that too. Now, that doesn't mean lower your standards. That doesn't mean accept or settle. That only means be in a good space where you're okay with possibly or the possibility of sharing your space with somebody else that may fit close to what you're looking for, right?
Hey, y'all, look at what Shanae said. She said people be wanting other people to submit to them, and they are not deserving of the role. Hey,
Oh,
Dizzle, do you and your wife have roles in your marriage? So two things. If a woman is going to be in a position to submit, she should already be in a position knowing in that relationship she's already there or can be there at any given point because they're at that level.
hmm,
In my opinion, it's hard to backpedal and be a certain person and then
Right.
get into a relationship and
Mhm.
not be that of the same person that got you to that point
Right.
because certain things are not always going to be perfect in a relationship, like going beyond dating, because Lisa already talked about marriage. So when you're actually dating and in a relationship, you should already be in a place to where you want to be submissive. And if you feel like you can't and never get to that point, you might not want to be in that relationship.
Because we all supposed to be going in relationships with the mindset to serve.
Correct.
We're not going to come take. That's what it sounds like when people mentioned relationship, it sounded like people was coming for a robbery, a soft robbery, or something like that.
So,
Like,
so
I agree with Arizona on that.
let me answer the question. Do you and your wife have roles in your marriage? Absolutely, we have roles in our marriage. They are defined, but they are also not concrete, right?
exactly.
Because
Shit
there,
change.
yeah, life changes, life be
Right.
life, and you got to make moves and you got to do
Right.
things to make sure that you are all staying on the same page and moving in the same direction. Now,
We've gotten
like
to the
this.
point in the episode. Shanae is trying to get on the microphone. Go ahead, KJ. Go ahead, KJ.
Whatever make the team win, man.
Yeah, so we going way deeper than after the dating. So we go really back.
No,
I,
Arizona. What I'm saying is, like, as far as being submissive, if that's your role, then own your role. But the minute you start to fall back in your role and that becomes my role, then you fall back into my role. So if you was the breadwinner and all of a sudden, let's say you lost your job and now I'm the breadwinner. When I come home, I want a meal. I want the bathroom clean. I want you to buy toilet paper and change the rolls. Everything that I would have been doing or whatever your role
That's
was.
fair. That's fair.
Right, so that's all I'm saying. But let me finish. I'm not finished.
Okay.
What men don't understand is, as a woman, it's hard for me to go to work for 8 hours and then come home and still manage the household. And then you want me to be ready to make love to you at night after I done did 8 hours, 5 hours with the kids, cooked you dinner, and now I'm supposed to turn it on and then turn it around and do it all again the next morning. Like, y'all need to be more understanding
no.
what
See,
our role is too.
I totally agree with you, but at the end of the day, because I'm cooking
Oh,
on
hit
top,
this
whether
Jay.
I'm working on that, and at the end of the day, I mean, I feel that girls work and stuff like that. I still want the cheeks. It's just that's something that just got to get done.
Okay,
But however, I am cooking and stuff like that.
Then do a load of laundry and put it away.
I have no problem with that.
Hey, this is a whole other episode.
Danita brought it.
A whole nother episode.
Hold on, Day. I'm gonna tell you exactly what we're going beyond the point of dating. Now we're talking about in the relationship. Now we're talking about expectations, and then we're talking about also being cognizant of the moment. You being present, not only being present there, but also understanding, reading the room, and understanding the situation. So that's a whole nother topic. And
Right,
I'm gonna
hold
slow
on.
y'all
Let me
down and
say
pull y'all
this.
back
Go
right
ahead,
now.
Arizona.
Let me say this, K, because I read Lisa comment. She said I'm only focused on the cheeks. I'm not focused on the cheeks. I'm cooking and serving off top, whether I got a job or not. I'm trying to do whatever is going to make the team win. I don't want no girl to be one hand washes the other. If I'm not working and you are, I'm gonna have that house spick and span.
Right.
But if the roles are reversed, same thing applies. Or if we both working, we gonna do the same thing together.
But we're gonna go to a different portion of this conversation to another episode. We're gonna note it right here because I'm gonna keep it real. We being Shanae and myself, we have the constant conversation of effort. And effort is not always equated to dollars and cents in our relationship. So when you get to a certain point, once you get past dating, you can no longer just say, well, I paid for X, Y, and Z, so I can put my feet up and chill, per se.
But let me say this, though, Hef. The effort starts with the dating. I'm showing my effort and interest. It continues throughout the relationship. I'm showing my effort and interest in the relationship. I'm doing whatever has to get done in the relationship.
Yeah.
We might have to do a part 2 next week. And Ron, I'm gonna pull you off, man.
All right,
Arizona, we love you, bro. We
love
always
you, bro.
appreciate
I
you.
will say this: date for what you're looking for. So if you like to be,
She didn't text in, guys.
If you like to be fed, then go date a nigga that likes to spend money on feeding you. If you like somebody to buy you stuff, then go date a nigga with money, and vice versa. If you like a girl to fuck you all the time, then go date a girl that like to have sex. Don't go trying to like change people and make them into what you want them to be. Go find the opposite of what you attract.
I'm going to say this, and we're going to close it out. Whatever you do at the beginning of the relationship to get that man or get that woman, remind yourself consistently that you need to continue to do those same things to get and keep that person in your life to make them happy.
But
Okay.
don't forget, when we go to part 2 next week, guys, we're gonna talk about the fact that things can change too.
Things can
You know,
always change. You got to be able to go with the flow, roll with the punches. But more importantly, out here, we talked about some important do's and don'ts that what you should do in a dating. It's hard out here for a pimp and a hustler, for a man and woman to find the right one. Surround yourself, try some things new, go to different spots or the places that you frequent, so you can find hopefully the people that fit exactly what you need. Or sometimes the opposites could be what you need as well. But more importantly, just put yourself out there more and be a better filter on what you see and what you don't see out there. And look, Hef, where can they put information to, bro?
hey man, submit your information to all dressed up podcast at gmail.com or just hit us up on IG. We are on IG actively all day, every day. And of course, you can find us live on the first and third Sundays on YouTube, on Facebook. Find me at Hef Streams everywhere. K Dizzle, where you at, bro?
Hey, K Dizzle DC everywhere. We might have to carry this conversation on later this week.
This
part 2 on
conversation,
IG. We might
this
do it on IG,
conversation
man.
has been glooming over my back. And as you can see, if you watch the live version of our episode,
Yeah.
Shanae did not text in. She was on my microphone, but it's all good because that's my baby.
That's your baby.
Make sure that the person that's on your microphone, you love them very much, because if you don't, it can be a rough one. And I tell you, man, shout out to Coach Nick Love for coming through. We really appreciate the professional advice, and definitely check him out.
Shout out to Fancy, man. Shout out to Fancy.
Fancy, man.
Shout out to Arizona Ron, man. We're going to call this a night, man. We love y'all. We will see y'all. Maybe check us on the action. We might be rolling through it next week. We're going to make sure we have a part 2. All right? Take care.
And you know, and I know, and they know, and we know, we go all in, you know, and I know, they know,